At 80 and 50 years old, artists Ushio and Noriko Shinohara have moved to Sydney from New York. A heritage building located at 424 Anzac Parade will be their new home. The couple's financial situation, along with their experimental natures, has meant they're wanting to live in a micro apartment, no more than 20 metres squared, whilst operating a Japanese grocer within the same building. Ushio and Noriko will further experiment with an urban intervention, using the public footpath as a part of their micro-dwelling's function. My process to meet this brief began slowly but surely. During the first couple of weeks, I explored iterations of geometric forms. Although my forms were interesting, nothing was translating for me in terms of considering the users. Through furthering my research, I came across a lecture given by both Ushio and Noriko themselves. One moment struck a chord with me.
So if you go to on a street and glance, you can glance somebody's home and you can imagine what is happening inside of their home.
I found the idea that you can glance at somebody's home from an outsider's perspective and create an image of the performance inside to be an interesting way to explore the nature of private versus public space. In Semester 1, Week 11 of Critical Perspectives, we learnt about identity as being performative through our actions and behaviours. We were left with the question, what does this mean for interiors? Often the first things that come to mind when we think of performance are concerts, art, live shows, or film. Just like these, architecture can be viewed as a stage, an event that creates a psychological resonance with a space. This notion informed my design concept in terms of performance through controlled circulation, differing levels of lighting, and materiality. Identity and art are performative. Our actions and behaviours within a space create a stage of living. This stage of changing sets is explored through my spatial strategy by creating environments from units with specific functions. These units facilitate performative actions in 3 layers: circulation, ritual, and function, with pull-out tables, storage, and a bed held within. Choreographed behaviour is encouraged through the 3-layered design, the user completing a ritual in an isolated process, rather than conventional space. Inspired by the Batasi House of the Future in Beijing, controlled by a smart TV, the walls control performance and create new spaces. I plan on expanding this further in my grocer by creating moving displays, exaggerating performance through controlled circulation, shifting direction, and tempo in the space. The arrangement of the urban intervention draws the eye upward into the live grocer, where fresh herbs can be picked and bought by customers. This gives the passerby a glance at the semi-public performance of the grocer, blurring the line of privacy. I found my design concept to link well with the theory of structuralism, being the methodology that implies elements of human culture must be understood by way of their relationship to a larger, overarching system or structure. It works to uncover the structures that underlie all things that humans do, think, perceive, and feel. This can be seen through the glimpses of performance given to the public through the transparency of the polycarbonate apartment, leaving interpretation to the viewer and creating an open narrative. Stressing binary pairs, another aspect of structuralism, is explored through the material strategy. Outside and inside, nature and culture are examples of this. It led to architects to use materials we normally associate with exteriors in the interior, such as concrete. I have explored this through the continuation of planters throughout the building, as well as contrasting polycarbonate panels to the original brick of the site. Furthermore, the use of wooden pallets to create the urban intervention stresses what is deemed as useful or useless, creating a structure through reusing material. This permanent wooden intervention by Horizontal inspired me to reclaim the physical space of the street for collaborative use, such as seating and a community garden. Furthering my concept over the next week, I'll be focusing on refining my design down to a more micro level, where it can be really understood how an inhabitant would perform and experience the space.